Hey everybody, it's Jimmy Richardson again, solicitor from Horry and Georgetown counties. We have been trying to do a little wrap up at the end of each week, but last week was we were not here Friday because it was Good Friday. So hoping that you had wishing you a belated Happy Easter and Good Friday and all of the things that represents. But one thing that it did for us was we were not able to get together because we were closed on Friday. I wanted to catch you up on a very full week of trials last week. We started off, we had, just like always, we had one judge doing pleas and one judge doing trials. So because we had two very important cases and both of them were saying, I want a trial on Monday, we dropped back and said we're going to convert both judges into trial judges. One of the trials pled after a jury was picked. That was Danny Murphy. He's a Myrtle Beach resident, about 40 years old. He pled guilty to CSC with a minor, what we commonly call statutory rape. He received 10 years for his conduct in that case, and that 10-year sentence is going to be non-parolable, which really means you'll have to serve 85% before you come up for parole. So Danny Murphy on a CSC with a minor or statutory rape case got 10 years. That was Lee Andrew and George Henry Martin that tried that case. In the other courtroom, that one pled, Murphy pled. So we converted that judge back to hearing pleas, but we kept the trial judge in the other courtroom going, and that was a pretty short murder case. It started on Monday with motions. We started taking testimony on Tuesday, and the jury came back late Thursday afternoon. That was Lacondrian Bromell. He was convicted of murder. The murder took place at a little pop-up bar called Turk's Place in Longs, South Carolina. Bromell, because of his conviction of murder and possession of a firearm during the commission of a violent crime, he received a total of 35 years. This is a little bit different, and we'll talk about that in a future segment, but this murder is different than non-parolable. Murder means day for day. So Bromell on April 14th received 30 years for murder and 5 years additional. Bromell will have to serve 30 years. He won't be eligible for any type of parole. He should get out on that on April 14th, 2052. And then he'll have to serve the additional 5 years or a portion of that. That was the trial that took 2.5, 3 days. The other courtroom, they were of course taking pleas. Here's some of the significant pleas from last week. Sean Tyree, he pled guilty to CSC, third degree. That was in front of Judge Stephen DeBerry, and Tyree received a sentence of 10 years. He will have to also register as a sex offender, which all of the CSC cases or rape cases, they have to register as sex offenders. In another plea that took place, this was second degree distribution of heroin. That was Michael Eller, 50 years old. He's from Myrtle Beach. He will serve 10 years for that plea to distribution of heroin and distribution of cocaine. Crystal Helms is a Florida resident but was here in Horry County with possession with intent to distribute methamphetamines. It's the same structure as distribution. She also had a shoplifting charge. Crystal Helms received 10 years for possession with intent to distribute methamphetamines. And Barbaro Velasquez, another case that took place last week. It was a plea. He is a 27-year-old Myrtle Beach resident. He pled guilty to second offense of distribution of heroin, and he also received a 10-year sentence in plea court last week. So a lot going on. Last week was the second week in a row that we were in court. This week we're not in court. So the way it usually works is we will start off, say, April 7th with a plea judge and a trial judge. Then April 14th, the very next week, we'll have a plea judge and a trial judge. And then the following 2 weeks, we will be out of court preparing for the May term of court, which will be back to back. So we got a lot of good feedback last week from trying to be transparent and tell you guys what was going on in court. This week we are not in court in general sessions, so if there's any comments or if you'll put in the comment bar anything that you want me to talk about, to explain, this would be a good week for that because we're not in court. But anyway, thank you guys for keeping up. This transparency keeps us honest and informs the public. So that's one thing that's really important to us. We want you to know the good, the bad, and the ugly behind this, and basically demystify the criminal justice system. So if there's anything you want to talk about or have had burning questions on, just leave it in the comments and we'll try to pick it up next week.